Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans of all ages. Thank you for joining me on the Scabbard. I'm Dave Valente. So got off to a good start on the West Coast swing, taking on the LA Kings on what was that? Wednesday night, Thursday? Yeah, Wednesday night. First game of a 3-game Western road trip, which sees them play all 3 California teams, and it was a great start. I mean, it wasn't a perfect start. UPL was perfect. UPL had stole that game, quite honestly. The Sabres came out strong in the first period and played really well, controlling the play. The Kings had very little opportunities there in the first period, but it seems like when they got to they made the adjustments in the first intermission, and the Kings came out much stronger in that second period. Hemmed the Sabres in the zone several times, and as a result, the Sabres took several penalties. I saw Lance Lasowski talking about how the Sabres have taken 5 penalties 3 of the last 4 games, and this game was no different. There were, I think, 4 penalties there in the second period alone, um, and the Sabres really barely made it out of that second period with the game tied at zeros. So we get into the third period. Sabres on an early power play. Jason Zucker tips in a point shot, and Sabres are up 1-0. And the Kings had every opportunity to tie that game. I thought the Kings had the much better opportunities in the third period, but UPL was stout, and that puck was finding him all the time in that game. He got 24 saves. It wasn't like the most saves for a shutout, but got a 24 save shutout, 1-0 victory for the Buffalo Sabres. Again, getting them off to a good start on the West Coast road trip. And of the 3 teams that they're facing on this West Coast road trip, the Kings are probably the strongest of the 3. I mean, of course, San Jose's rebuilding after the Macklin Celebrini draft, and the Ducks have also, like the Sabres, wandered the wilderness for a few seasons and are trying to become more competitive. So tonight we take on the Anaheim Ducks, and they are 8-8-2. So they are in NHL 500, just like the Sabres. They're 8-8-2, seventh in the Pacific Division. They've won 3 straight and 4 out of their last 5. Did have a couple of tough stretches in the season, but have really turned it around as late. Troy Terry leads the team with 12 points. He has 6 goals, 6 assists on the season. And John Gibson, who we'll be facing tonight, leads the goalies with a 2.67 goals against average, while Lucas Dostal leads the team with a 924 save percentage and 5 wins. So, uh, Dostal has the most wins of the team, 5 to Gibson's 3. But yeah, he's we're getting Gibson tonight, and Gibson is has had the better career, although Dostal does seem to be the goalie of the future for the Anaheim Ducks. 3 keys to the game tonight: more discipline. Um, you know, a, a good night. You're 3 and under on penalties. You can't go over. You can't go into double digit penalty minutes, and we've done that quite a few times in the last 4 games. You got to be more disciplined. You can't expect UPL to steal you 2 points every night. And if you continue to put the power play on the opposing team's power play on the ice, the more likely it is that they are going to score on you. So be more disciplined, consistent effort. Great first period, very pedestrian second period. Lots of pressure was put on the Sabres in that second period. I think it affected them in the third period. Sabres should have been the fresher team, having had a few days off. Even though they're traveling west, it's easier to travel west than it is to travel east. And uh, with this game, they got to get over the hump. We've gotten to NHL 500 3 times already, and we've lost the next game those 3 times. Let's see if we can get over the hump, get to over NHL 500 before Thanksgiving, um, and get ourselves back in a playoff spot. We were momentarily in a playoff spot yesterday or the day before, and so get ourselves back in the playoff spot. Then we're getting into U.S. Thanksgiving, and the schedule gets tougher after this weekend, especially if you can string together another win tomorrow night. The schedule gets tougher after that. You got Minnesota, who's playing really well. You got Vancouver, who's very competitive there in the Pacific Division, coming into town. So to wrap up the month of November, and so if the Sabres can get on a little bit of a heater, they can really make moves. There's just a glut of teams now in the soft middle of the Eastern Conference right now, all within a few points of each other. The Sabres are uh, truth be told, they're far closer to the bottom of the Eastern Conference than they are to getting into one of the 3 Atlantic Division playoff spots. So, lots of work to do. Time to capitalize on a very soft Eastern Conferences right now, because as we get deeper into the season, teams will start to figure things out. You want to be able to do that before the rest of the league does. Ducks forwards tonight. We've got Ducks with the new forward Alex Killorn from played with Tampa Bay last year. His first 8 years of his career. With Leo Carlson and Trevor Zegras, with Frankie Vetrano, Ryan Strome, and Troy Terry on the second line. Cutter Gauthier, former Flyers first round pick that requested a trade out of Philadelphia and was accommodated with Isaac Lundstrom, Brett Lars, and Brett Leeson on that third line. Ross Johnson, Jansen Harkins, and Sam Colangelo on the fourth line. Haven't heard too much out of the fourth line there. I don't know what kind of game they play, but they've been hot. So 3 games in a row, and 4 of their last 5. Their defensive pairs: Jackson Lacombe with Olin Zellweger. Pavel Mentyukov with Radko Gudas, Brian Dumoulin with Drew Hellison as the third pair. Ducks goaltenders, as I told you earlier, John Gibson is going to be the starter with Lucas Dostal backing up. Scratches and injuries for the Ducks. No one's scratched, but there's a ton of injuries. Cam Fowler, a longtime top prospect defenseman for the Anaheim Ducks, um, now a veteran on the team. He is injured with an body injury. Robbie Fabry is got a lower body injury. Urho Vakanainen with the upper body injury. Brock McGinn, lower body, and Mason McTavish, another young prospect player for this Anaheim Ducks team, is out with an upper body injury. Lines for the Sabres per NHL.com. We got Peterka McLeod with Benson, Cousins, Lafferty on the second line, Zucker, Kulik, and Quinn on the third line. These are some interesting lines for NHL.com. Don't know how strict they're going to be on these lines, but Beck Mellenstein, Peyton Krebs, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, kind of the only line that kind of makes sense at this point. But yeah, got Lafferty in with the other three third, fourth liners that we normally have, but looks like Lindy is shaking it up a little bit. Defensive pairs, we got Darlene with Byram, Power with Henry Yoki Haru. So he earns a second game back in the lineup with Jacob Bryson and Connor Clifton on the third pair. Starting tonight, no big surprise here. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen off of the shutout gets the start with James Reimer backing up. I wonder if Reimer starts tomorrow night. That makes sense because you got San Jose coming in. You would probably want to get your backup in a game here on the West Coast road trip, so you don't burn out UPL. I think he got burnt out when they were playing Philadelphia, or no, Montreal. I'm sorry, when they played Montreal and he was a little bit injured. I think they were bombing him out a little bit. I got a comment from Joe Solosky. I don't know what happened to the comments here for this thing. Hold on a second. Let me try that again. Yeah. Well, anyway, he says the Pens need to get moving. Pens are struggling. They're down 3-0 in the third period against the Winnipeg Jets, which is no big surprise because the Jets are a beast team this year. Saber scratches tonight. Isaac Rosane with Dennis Gilbert injured. Tage Thompson remains injured for the fourth consecutive game. I don't know that they'll play him tomorrow night. He did take some practice today, but didn't participate in any line rushes. Dave Samuelson, of course, out with the lower body. He's a ways away, and so is Jordan Greenway. So that is what the Sabres lineup looks like tonight. All right, tonight's odds per DraftKings. Buffalo is a 1.5 favorite. Over under is 6. Money line has Buffalo at a -180. I'll give you a 2-for-1 special here on today's date, November 22nd, 2000. The red butter knife jersey makes its debut, the first alternate in Sabres history. Makes its debut as the first third jersey in the franchise history. They didn't say whether they won or not that night. I can't remember. But yeah, November 22nd, 2000 was the debut of the Butter Knives jersey. And then in 2002, Ryan Miller made 17 saves to earn his first win in a 5-4 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. So a couple of memorable dates there in Sabres history. Also, Danny Gare's jersey was retired, I believe, in 2006 against the Rangers. Week ahead, we've got tomorrow night, San Jose at 8 p.m. Eastern. So the Scabbard will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern. We got Minnesota and Vancouver coming up at home, bookending the Thanksgiving holiday. The next episode is going to be Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night as we talk about the San Jose Sharks and hopefully talking about another Sabres victory, the first one to put them over the 500 mark this season. So let's go Buffalo. Let's get the win, and we will talk to you all. Oh, we got another comment from Joe. Pens are a shadow of their former selves. Pens, I will say this for the Pens. They need to start making moves. I don't think you're ever gonna get you'll have tons of suitors for Sidney Crosby. I just don't think Sidney Crosby will ever allow himself to be traded out of Pittsburgh. But Malkin, Letang, if you can get Carlson out of there, Carlson, you're probably gonna have to retain a ton of salary on, even though like half of his salary is already being paid by San Jose. Um, yeah, I mean they did it with Lars Eller already. I think coaching changes and things like that are also in the offing there, but they're going to have to start moving out some of these legacy pieces in order to start rebuilding and acquiring draft picks because the Penguins went so many years without having a good quality first round draft pick, and that's why the Penguins are struggling now. There's not really a whole lot in the cupboard when it comes to top tier prospects, and they need to replenish. And I think it's gonna be kinda like after, Lemieux left, there's gonna be some dark times and, not to the point that the Penguins are gonna move. I don't think that's ever a threat anymore, but, um, they're gonna be in for a rough ride here for the next couple seasons, I think, but, they do definitely need to start moving on from their core pieces, and if they wanna trade Sidney Crosby to the Sabres, heck, I'll take him. That would be nice, but anyway, that is the show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern as we talk San Jose Sharks versus Buffalo Sabres. Hopefully, talking about another win. Let's go Buffalo. We'll talk to you later.